You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
No one epitomizes the American dream more than Leonardo DiCaprio. Does one movie a year and spends the rest of his time on yachts with beautiful women. Nevertheless, we love him. Here are his top 10 movies.
Wagonar. I love number one.
So kicking off my countdown at number 10 is Revolutionary Road. Big Leo and Kate Winslet united for not the only time on this list. This film takes the cliched American dream of suburbia and flips it on its head. Leo plays husband to Kate Winslet, and they seem to be stuck in the rut and monotony of suburban life. I think he plays his role perfectly as a husband, and shares some very powerful scenes with Kate. My number 9, Old Sport, is The Great Gatsby. Now we all know Leo looks mighty fine in a suit, and this film gives you plenty of that. Leo's portrayal of this suave, mysterious, and damn right eccentric man is right up his alley. Well done. Number 8 on my list is Blood Diamond. Leo's portrayal as an ex-mercenary turned arms dealer is incredible. His performance can pretty much be summed up with his impeccable use and fluency of the very hard to master South African accent.
Yo, journalist. Some tell me you're here to make a difference, huh?
And you're here to make a buck.
You know, in America it's bling bling, but out here it's bling bang.
Number 7 on my list is the ever-famous Titanic. Now this was one of Leo's benchmark films that really kick-started and skyrocketed his career. I, for one, fell in love with this adorable little scoundrel. I mean, can you blame me? Look at him! One interesting point about this film is that years later, Leo's admitted to being quite ashamed of this role. And in some respects, I can kind of understand why, with the whole kind of cliched, ooey gooey romance thing. My number 6 is Catch Me If You Can. I think at least one point in this movie, every guy wanted to be Frank Abagnale. Whether it was from taking authority in his French class, to acting as a pilot or a doctor. Leo undertakes multiple personalities in this role and plays them all beautifully.
Welcome to Miami Mutual Bank. How may I help you?
I'd like to cash this check here, and then I'd like to take you out for a steak dinner.
Alright, I'll invite Chaz up here for his 10 to 6.
Number 10 is The Aviator. Now when I first watched this movie, I was on like a bit of a Leo binge. And this is a good movie, but it's not his best. As far as I can remember, this is the first movie he put on a serious accent. Unless you count what he did in What's Eating Gilbert Grape as an accent. I think he was way too young to be believable for this role. But that's not his fault, and he did do a good performance. Plus, Leo with a mustache. My number 9 is Gangs of New York. I think anyone acting beside Daniel Day-Lewis may struggle a bit. Leo didn't. This is the first of many movies with the Leonardo Scorsese partnership. My number 8, What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I read that because this was Leo's first real performance. Everyone was surprised when they found out that he wasn't actually mentally disabled. That's the best compliment I can give.
Dad's dead.
Arnie.
Dad's dead.
Arnie, shh. Arnie.
Dad's dead.
Okay.
Dad's
Stop
dead.
it now.
Dad's dead. Dad's dead. Dad's dead. Dad's
Mom, 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 Arnie, shut up.
My number 7 is Titanic. The movie every woman and myself fell in love with little Leo. By far his most heartwarming film. Now I don't have any actual problems with Leo's performance in this movie. My problems are with the movie itself. I don't know why they did the whole side story with elderly Kate, and I don't know, to me that was just stupid. But hey, maybe that's just me. Either way, great performance. My number 6 is Catch Me If You Can. I love any movie that stars Christopher Walken. So, what's the opposite of Christopher Walken? Christopher Reeve.
Oh, God, dude.
What? Steven Spielberg directed this and it starred Leo and Tom Hanks. Was it ever going to be bad? The fact that a young Leo could hold his own with Christopher Walken and Tom Hanks says something about his future career. And I may be wrong, but I think this movie is underrated. Not that anyone says it's bad or anything, I just don't hear enough people talking about it.
So, I don't really understand your quarrels with the whole Titanic elderly Rose kind of thing.
I don't think it was necessary at all. I think the soul of Titanic, the best part of Titanic, was the Leonardo and Kate Winslet thing. Everything else was just... I know it was James Cameron trying to make a good story into 3 hours, something like mediocre. It wasn't, no. The story was great, it's just... I hated everything else, which is stupid.
I didn't mind the fact that it kept cross-referencing this elderly Rose, and it was retelling her life. It was retelling her life story, because it is a fictional, obviously, story based in a real lifetime. But I thought that it gave the film a bit more sentimental value.
I thought it dumbed it down. I thought it said, oh, we can't just tell a story. We have to give a reason to tell a story. And I didn't think it needed that.
Fair enough.
You got The Great Gatsby in your list.
Yeah, it was, from a movie standpoint, it wasn't fantastic. It didn't really live up to the book. Baz Luhrmann, I think, was a poor director choice. And I'm talking this movie down at
Really?
number 9 on my list, yeah.
I've never read the book, so...
Just from what the book said, Baz Luhrmann is a very eccentric director.
He's a visual director.
Exactly. And the visuals were great in this film. And Leo, from an acting standpoint, performed exactly how Baz Luhrmann wanted him to act. So he was this eccentric, he was this mysterious guy, and I thought he did that really well. I can still say that he wasn't the best choice as director, but Leo did play his role really well.
Yeah, see, I just saw the movie as good-looking, no story.
So now it's time for my 5 and 4. So number 5 on my list is The Departed. So this movie stars Alec Baldwin, Mark Wahlberg, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and is directed by Martin Scorsese. I love this movie.
What do you get, your period?
Number 4 on my list is Shutter Island. A mind-blowing adventure that will just leave you contemplating all you believe in life by the end of it. As expected, the partnership of Leo and Scorsese never disappoints. Leo's portrayal of a US federal marshal is spot on, and his Boston accent's better than mine. Alright, I'll bring in Chaz now for his 5 and 4.
Okay, now my number 5 is Inception. It hurts me that this is only number 5 in my list, because this is one of my favourite movies of all time. Now, I remember when I first saw this movie, I saw it with a friend of the female gender, who I had to tell to her face to just sit down and be quiet, because I was so enthralled with the movie, and didn't want to miss a second. And it was thanks to Leo's performance. My number 4 is Shutter Island. The first time I watched this movie, I had no idea what I was putting on, which is why I think it had such a big effect on me. Leo literally plays 3 different versions of the same character in this movie. I believed every second of it. The only reason I don't think this movie is more highly acclaimed is because it was out around the same time as Inception, which isn't a bad thing.
You know, this place makes me wonder.
Yeah, what's that, boss?
Which would be worse? To live as a monster? Or to die as a good man?
You had The Departed number 5?
I did. It was a great Leo movie, great Scorsese film. It's just, with such a star-studded cast, it's not like Leo can get overshadowed. It's just that with a lot of stars, it's hard to stand out. I mean, one of my favourite scenes is actually between Mark Wahlberg and Alec Baldwin. Some great banter. So you had Shutter Island above Inception.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, Inception was so big and it was beautiful and it was complex. And
Yeah, it was all those things. It was amazing, but the fact is, I think Inception was so tight and well done that you could have put anyone in Leo's thing and it still would have been an amazing movie. I think he sold Shutter Island. If you had to put someone else in his role, I would have been like, okay, alright, whatever.
But she is like the psychological side. I guess they're both psychological films, but I struggled to follow Inception a lot more than I did Shutter Island. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I'd say it would be. It made me think more. The ending was a lot more profound, I thought. Like, it was monumental, and then it left you thinking at the end.
I agree, but I say Shutter Island had a better ending.
Fair enough. Personal opinion. Alright, get lost. I want to do my top 3. So my number 3 is Inception. So this is a Christopher Nolan film, for one, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I really don't have anything bad to say. Leo's sense of mysteriousness in this film left me wanting more. But then, in other respects, when you were in 5 different people's minds and things were exploding and the time lapse was weird, I just wanted it to slow the fuck down.
You're waiting for a train.
Oh, God damn it, don't do this!
A train that will take you far away.
James and Philippa are waiting.
You know where you hope this train will take you.
They're waiting
You
for
can't know
us!
for sure,
Oh, look at me!
but it doesn't matter.
Oh, God damn!
My number 2 is The Wolf of Wall Street. Who doesn't love Leo's portrayal of Jordan Belfort in this film? Never mind that he stole millions of dollars from innocent people. Never mind that he conned his way to being one of the richest people in America. You know what? We just love him anyway. His sexed up and drugged up lifestyle captivated audiences around the world. And Margot Robbie. One of the more interesting things I found out about this movie was that in some scenes, Margot Robbie actually felt threatened by Leo from his intense acting.
So my number 1 Leo movie is Django Unchained.
Tarantino's latest film, and did not disappoint. This gave us a role of Leo in which he was completely hated. His acting in this role was impeccable, where we see he actually unintentionally drew blood for the role.
Hey! Lay your palms flat on that tabletop! If you lift those palms off that turtle shell tabletop, Mr. Pooch is gonna let loose with both barrels that sawed off.
My number 3 is The Departed. So, just to reiterate, Alec Baldwin, Mark Wahlberg, Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, directed by Martin Scorsese. I love this movie. My number 2 is Django Unchained. Seriously, he wasn't nominated for an Oscar for this. I think this is the first movie where we all fucking hated him. I mean, you can sum up his performance with the one scene where he smashes the glass and blood pours out of his hands, and he realizes, you know what? It hurts like hell, but this will be awesome. And he rubs the blood on Kerry Washington's face, and you can just see in her eyes, like, the fear she has. And you can just tell that Quentin Tarantino, sitting behind the camera, absolutely loving it. This movie just proved, good guy or bad guy, Leo can do it all. My number 1 is The Wolf of Wall Street. Was there any question that this was going to be number 1?
Absolutely fucking not.
I think if you look at all the movies that Leo and Scorsese have done together, you could argue that they just keep getting better. And I couldn't handle if they do another one. When they do another one, you know it's coming. I read that the famous scene with Matthew McConaughey pumping his chest started when Leo saw him just doing it backstage and came up to him and said, "Dude, you have to do that." And that just shows he doesn't care who looks great. He just cares that if he's a part of the movie, he wants the movie to be the best it can be. And that says more than anything.
Come on.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh! He's shown in the past that he can play the good guy, the guy that you love, or the guy that you hate. In this movie, he does both. He goes from inspirational speeches to blowing coke off hookers' asses. Did it all perfectly.
This is their gift, okay? They're built to be thrown like a lawn dart.
1, 2, 3!
Stop.
Okay?
Safety first.
Safety is first.
We don't want to get a bad reputation.
This movie proves that he just keeps getting better and better. I can't wait to see what's next.
I don't know. I don't really do much, to tell you the truth. I just do movies and I read a little bit, watch a little TV. I like stupid shows like, you know, I like like Barney. I wake up in the morning, I watch Barney.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you have any suggestions on what you want us to see next, if you have any alterations to the list, let us know.
Yeah, let us know your favourite Leo movies. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Like us on Facebook, Twitter, those links are there somewhere. Don't forget, if you don't, we're sending Nick to limbo.